everybody. Welcome to the TPN podcast. I hope you appreciated our wonderful new intro sequence of what is going to be the best leadership election that you will witness in all of history. I'm joined by my good old friend Tommy Bowyer.
Hello, you're very right. It's going to be one of the funniest leadership elections in history as well, by the looks of things.
Yeah. So, Tommy, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, the Labour leadership drags on. I think it's only Clive Lewis who didn't manage to get through the first hurdle.
Oh, there was a bunch of them that dropped out. There'd be
But
five.
Clive Lewis, to be honest, the Labour leadership candidates are coming up with some really bizarre policies. One of them wanted a referendum on the monarchy. One of them wanted to abolish the House of Lords. They're coming up with some really strange ideas. And if I was Labour, I'd be thinking, how are you going to win those northern seats back? But no one seems to be talking about how we're going to win the northern seats.
Because
they just keep saying,
can't.
Yeah, they just keep saying, well, we're going to remain, kind of rejoin.
So from last time, they're through to the next round of the Labour Party, which will drag out until the 4th of April.
Oh God!
When it's April, no one's gonna give a shit, are they?
And people really do say I heard Jordan Stokes, who's been on this podcast, said that the Conservative Party leadership dragged on, but with the Conservative Party leadership, it was like down to two candidates within like 2 weeks.
It was like,
and then there was
6 weeks.
Yeah, and then there was a couple of weeks of the two main candidates campaigning, and it went to the membership, and then it was like bing bada boom, done. This one seems to be dragging on, just like constantly.
3 months.
I don't think anyone has a clue what they're doing. I mean, or I did find something funny. I on the internet, apparently Momentum, and if you don't know what Momentum are, they're this massive trade union that supports Jeremy Corbyn, has sent ballot papers out with this might seem like North Korea. They've sent ballot papers out with just one name on, and that's Rebecca Long Bailey, the candidate they like. So that's just how corrupt Momentum is. And since Jeremy Corbyn's been leader, Momentum have infested the Labour Party. Do you remember on election night there was that guy from Momentum who was saying, well, it's not been a bad night. I think Jeremy Corbyn's done a good job. It's like, what the hell are you on about? Labour's lowest seat total since 1935. That's not, yay, let's jump up and down with joy, unless they want to see the downfall of the Labour Party, which I don't know. Maybe they do.
They're completely out of touch, I tell you.
Momentum, just like all of Labour now, is too London centred. They're only obsessed with London, and they only really know about London. That's why loads of northern seats went, partly because the north is getting a bit sick of being told what to do by London Labour lot and Southern Labour lot. They want a northerner to listen to their views. And the problem is the very few northern Labour MPs they have got aren't listening. They're just saying, well, we want to rejoin the EU now. Is that all right? Can we rejoin?
Yeah.
Brexit is if there's one party which I don't see around in the next decade, at the moment I would say Labour, because Labour are really kind of falling apart because they're just in a complete mess. And this leadership election, I mean, we all knew with the Conservative leadership election that it was about the future of the Conservative Party. This Labour leadership election is about the future of the Labour Party, and all of the candidates are pretty much a joke. No one knows them because they're all just a bunch of weirdos. Because half of the shadow cabinet, like MacDonald and Abbott, are all running back to the back benches where they belong, and good riddance if you want my personal opinion. the leadership election just looks like a car crash waiting to happen.
Yeah, well, you got 5 candidates. Guess there's one. Your favorite politician just scraped through the requirements.
Oh yes, she did, didn't she?
Yeah,
Only just. She might. You never know. She might win this.
And who are we talking about? Oh, of course, Tommy's favourite politician, Emily Thornberry, which I know is Tommy's
racist
favourite.
Politician.
Yeah,
the racist politician who doesn't like English people.
Who's up her own ass.
It's quite firm on that idea.
Is so self-obsessed and so arrogant.
Yep.
Who
if you hear her on
TV,
she is just so arrogant. She will never admit she has done anything wrong. It's always someone else's. I think the leader at the moment is still Keir Starmer out of all of the candidates.
Out of the highest nominations. Oh, MEP nominations.
Yeah, because Labour's system isn't like the Conservative one. It works really weirdly. Hang on a minute. MEP nominations after the 31st of January, won't they not count? Because we won't have any MEPs anymore.
Yeah, but they've got to big the numbers up somehow.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but the MEP numbers aren't exactly great for them, are they? Let's face it. They're not doing great themselves.
Certainly not.
Actually, speaking of leadership elections, has anyone ever even mentioned the Lib Dem leadership election? Because they're having one that hasn't started.
Are they?
Something's happening there.
I thought they're still licking their wounds.
I think so, but I don't know. Joe Swinson stepped down, so they need a new leader somewhere, don't they? I don't know who it's going to be. Lib Dems need a leader. If you can call Joe, well, Joe Swinson weren't much of a leader, but she was something, I suppose.
What do you call a Ramona?
Yep, a Ramona. And she lost her seat in what was probably the only time I actually liked the SNP being victorious when she lost their seat. It was such a great moment. I didn't see it myself because I was asleep, but I remember rewatching it and just seeing the look on her face. The woman who a couple of weeks before said, I could be the head of a majority Lib Dem government, lost her own seat.
So let's go. Let's go over the candidates. So, look who's got the same. Oh god, that's certainly the person you don't want. Who's Rebecca Long Bailey has got through with 33 nominations. Whose campaign art and style is exactly the same of a group that you don't want to really be associated with, and that's Momentum.
Rebecca Long Bailey is basically Corbyn's child, basically. Corbyn has been nurturing Long Bailey since she entered Parliament, and Bailey is kind of the figure. Bailey is kind of the figure of Corbyn, MacDonald, whereas in their eyes they can't do it themselves because they're getting too old now. But we've got our little pet project that we can just send in and kind of continue the socialist struggle. I mean, as I think I said in the last podcast, Rebecca Long Bailey worked on a scheme set up to buy your own home, which was instigated by Margaret Thatcher. So she can't be that socialist if she worked on a scheme designed by Margaret Thatcher. Yeah. So she's a champagne socialist, just like Corbyn is. They talk about we're all equal and then walk into their massive mansion.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's quite funny what our slogan is: "Our path to power," by copying the exact thing that lost us the biggest election since 1935. They don't learn, do you?
Yeah, but what was their campaign slogan? Because you remember the Conservative one.
It was the same. It was the same that they had all together. For the many, not the few.
Oh, because you remember the Conservative one, get Brexit done, unleash Britain's potential. You even remember like stupid ones like the Lib Dems one, stop Brexit. You remember ones like that, but Labour's one was kind of, I don't know, was it real
Stop
change
Brexit.
starts now, or for the many, not the few again? Because they haven't changed their slogan in like since Corbyn was elected. Uh, to be honest, if Rebecca Long Bailey gets in, I don't think Labour are going to do very well with her either. I
No,
think
they're
Boris
gonna
Johnson
lose. Wipe the
uh,
floor with her.
will kind of run rings around her in Parliament. I don't see what she can do, which is anything positive.
Yeah, that is true.
Which is not a good thing if you're running for leader.
No. Absolutely stupid. Absolute shambles. The front runner's still Keir Starmer on 88 nominations from his party. But momentum is not backing him though.
No, and that's the concerning thing, because Momentum are very corrupt and have loads of influence.
Yeah, they've influenced and infiltrated the party.
Just have to wait and see what happens really with that.
So there's not been much steam on the campaign, have there? Whereas with the Conservatives, they were right into it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything. By this point in the Conservative campaign, Michael Gove had admitted he was doing cocaine. You know, there'd been loads of like laughs and like, well, not laughs. It weren't like, oh, it was a good old laugh.
Yeah, there's not been anything. There's not been no cocaine scandal or Boris Johnson
No.
coming out and said, oh, he almost wanted cocaine, but he sneezed and it blew everywhere.
No, and you know, by this point in the Conservative campaign, Rory Stewart, bless him, had gone on TV without a tie.
Yeah.
And that was causing loads of like controversy.
Oh no, it's not that he went on without a tie, it's that he took his tie off halfway through.
Oh, do you remember Rory Stewart? Oh, everyone thought there was. I remember
There's
reading
something about
newspapers and this is the politician of the future. Everyone was saying Rory Stewart was going to be like this massive name, and now he's not even an MP.
He's running for Mayor of London. It's an independent though. Don't forget.
Yeah, because he's going to win, obviously.
Do you know who actually should have run for Labour leader? Who I would have loved to seen be the leader of the Labour Party?
David Lammy.
Yes.
I would have loved to see that.
That would have been brilliant. David Lammy is.
Oh, that would have been great.
That
Conservatives would have been in power forever if Lammy.
I know, but he did endorse Starmer though.
Well, maybe he's not that dumb.
It was either that or Diane Abbott.
Oh, Diane Abbott would be awesome. She really would be.
The problem is they're as thick as pig shit. That's the only problem.
Have you seen Corbyn in Parliament recently? He's just kind of sitting there.
He has nothing.
He's got nothing to bar. At least in the hung Parliament, he had some power. You know, he caused things to happen. Now he's just kind of sitting there like, well, I should have won.
He's like,
it's like,
well,
you can almost hear the Speaker of the House saying, "Sure you did, Jeremy. Go and have a lie down."
Leader of the opposition, is he?
Is he? Kind of, maybe. Oh, so yeah, Labour leadership conclusion is it's just a waste of time. It's dragging on far too long, and none of the candidates stand out. If you ask me who's gonna win, I would say Keir Starmer at this stage. I mean, that could change, but at the moment, I'd say Keir Starmer.
It all depends on, of course, on the membership of the Labour Party and who gets through and all that stuff. So who knows? Like they've not come out campaigning or anything. It's a bit of a mess.
No
at the
one
moment,
cares.
to be honest, if you ask me.
No one really cares. You know, Conservatives have an 80-seat majority. So what's the hurry? What's the point of rushing these? It's not like you're going to have an election in 2020. Not with those. Not with the numbers that Conservatives
they won't
have.
win an election. Especially with their current approach, especially like Rebecca Long Bailey gets in charge, they're not going to win an election anytime soon.
No, I'd be very surprised if, because obviously the next election at the moment would be in 2024.
Yeah.
So that's 5 years down the line. So who the hell knows? Maybe Conservatives will really mess everything up. Maybe Boris Johnson won't be Prime Minister anymore. But at the moment, at this
Yeah, you
stage,
never know. You might
at the moment, at this stage, who knows? I don't see Rebecca Long Bailey doing a good job as Labour leader.
Yeah, unless the only way Rebecca Long Bailey could win Labour an election is if Boris Johnson makes a massive blunder.
Yeah. Or if Boris Johnson, because to be fair, one criticism of the Conservatives is they do sometimes get rid of their leaders. So, who knows? Maybe Boris Johnson could do something really bad and the Conservatives force him from power and put in someone like Michael Gove, for example.
Oh no, they wouldn't. I highly doubt they've replaced Boris with Gove.
Oh, yeah. Gove is lining himself up as the guy who would take over
Of course
from
he
Boris.
is, but
That's what
that doesn't mean he is. Like, I don't see him being. I definitely don't see him taking over from Boris.
If it was me, I'd support the same guy who I supported in last year's election.
Someone like Sajid Javid would take over.
Yeah, I'd support Sajid Javid if. But anyway, let's not get into that because Boris isn't going anywhere for the moment.
No.
For the moment.
Hopefully for the next 10 years.
10 years? Oh.
Yeah,
something tells me he won't last that long.
What, you don't think he can last 2 terms?
It's not that, but 2 terms is 10 years is a long time.
I know.
And the public start to hate you after a while. I see him doing something like 8 years.
Oh,
let's say
he's got to finish it. He's got to finish the trilogy.
No, but if he won the next election, then there's this theory that you're supposed to give your successor like a 2-year transition period just so they find their feet. I mean, look what Blair did. Gordon Brown resigned.
Look how that ended.
Yeah, I know, but it's the idea of you can resign going, yes, look what I did, I'm all, and then if your successor messes everything up, you can say, oh yeah, it was that guy there, he lost. But anyway, we're getting far too ahead of ourselves.
Yes, so yeah, Labour leadership, we will inform you when something happens.
If it happens. If it happens.
Yeah, if. So who knows?
So anyway, moving on
We'll move on to our next topic, and that is, of course, the big topic of the day. Tommy, you know what it is? Well,
yeah.
What is it then?
Meghan Markle.
Oh no, we're not that one.
Oh, I thought that was the second topic.
Well, yeah, it's going to be the third now. This is going to be a short topic. That is, should Big Ben bong for Brexit?
Oh, that topic. Yes, it should. That's the short answer. Because I'd love it when Big Ben's like donging, all of the Leavers are shouting away, and you can see all the Remainers crying on national TV.
The thing is, at the moment, the issues with getting Big Ben to bong at the moment. There is an issue and something people are arguing about at the moment. It's because, as you know, Big Ben's under renovation at the moment, and they said because during the renovation they detached part of the bell for renovation, and they said and for the bell to ring will cost £500,000.
It's one of those things, isn't it? I'd say do it if Big Ben was in working order, but can't we just set up like a sound system?
That would be a good idea, just like speakers at the top of the tower.
Yeah, because at least then you get the or why not do they play a song like congratulations or something like that?
Or what if they were to crowdfund the cost?
You know what they should do? A massive fireworks display like they did on New Year. A massive.
In Parliament Square, they are having a Brexit celebration. Nigel Farage is organising it. Under Leave means Leave organisation. So they're going to have music. They're going to have celebration and dance for Brexit. It's been approved, so they're going to all be there in Parliament Square having a little celebration, having a dance.
Does the Brexit Party still exist?
Yeah. They still exist.
Not doing much.
They're still the Brexit Party till Brexit happens.
And then they become, what is it, the Reform Party,
Yeah,
apparently?
it wants to be the Reform Party because he wants to get rid of the House of Lords.
Yeah, but that's just Farage's attempt to stay in the spotlight. Now there's not an issue about Europe.
And he said he wants proportional voting.
I'm against proportional voting because it makes very unstable governments. I mean, we'd never be out of coalition. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You would never see a majority government again. There'd just be coalitions, left, right, and centre. And it gets messy, very messy, when there's coalitions.
Yeah, as we found out from previous experiences, messy.
Yep, just a bit.
So, is Big Ben going to bong for Brexit? We'll see.
We will see indeed.
We just want the bong. That's why, Tom, we were disappointed. We completely forgot on the election. You know, when we said, "Oh, where was the big bongs?"
Yes, exactly. We were very upset. There was just one dong.
We didn't know. We forgot why, but why it wasn't going ding 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 dong and all that like it does in previous elections. We completely forgot about that at the time, but it was because of the renovations at Big Ben. That's why they didn't show it.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, at the time we were both like, "What the hell?"
Where's all the bongs? But yeah, because usually they would film Big Ben like before the exit polls release, going ding dong ding dong, then bong bong. So we were pretty disappointed with that.
Yeah, we were very disappointed with that.
Right. So let's get on to the other talked about topic for the day. That's not bonging bells and donging and binging and bonging, and that is royal drama.
Ooh.
Oh, bum bum bum. Dong.
Oh.
Yes. So, Tommy, what is the big drama at the moment?
Well, it is the normal equivalent of your grandson moving house. That's basically what this drama is about. The only difference is that they're still sponging off the taxpayer when they're not even living in the country and doing their duty as royals.
Pretty much.
Oh. You know what? I don't like Meghan Markle. I've never liked Meghan Markle. She is a glorified soap actress. She's never been in anything high quality in America. She's basically the equivalent of an EastEnders actress, the American version. She's only ever appeared in soap, and she's one of the most arrogant people I have ever seen. She really does think she's great, and when the British press, because I love the British press, because they're like, yeah, we're not having any of that, we're going to rip into you. Then she got really upset and sent Harry out, who told all the newspapers off, so they all got a slap on the wrist. And then we said, well, you're a bunch of hypocrites. You keep going on about private climate change and then order a private plane. And we also said we haven't seen any photos of your kid. And they were like, well, it's our kid, it's privacy. And it's like, yeah, but you're spending our money, so it shouldn't be private.
I know.
And now they've decided to sod off to Canada.
They want to step back from royal duties. To be honest, I really couldn't give a shit if he does become financially stable. Fuck off. We need less money on the taxpayer. But
yeah, I think that's the problem I have. If they want to be financially independent, then become financially independent. Get a job at your local Tesco's or Walmart, wherever, and just become independent. Don't keep sponging. And apparently, I've heard the Canadian taxpayer, because it's part of the Commonwealth, will have to pay money as well. and they're up in arms about it. I mean,
Of
what the
course.
hell have Canada done to deserve all this?
Of course, though. What was I going to say? Yeah, I really could not give a shit. But it's not about just about what Harry did. It's about how he did it. Because he just announced out
Yeah,
of the blue without even telling his grandmother. He just said he just announced
yeah.
out of the
There's
blue
a lot of
without even telling
now.
the Queen. He just
Now,
dumped.
say what you want. I do like the Queen. I have respect for the Queen. She's a very intelligent woman
Yeah.
who's done a lot of good for this country. She deserved better than what Harry and Meghan did.
He just
I
dumped
mean,
it on her.
they basically all of these royal protocols, and they didn't tell the head of the household what was going on. Not only the household, the head of the royal family. There's no one above her. She is at the top, and they didn't even tell her. They told the British press first, and apparently they even told Sir Elton John first. Who the fuck cares if he knows or not? He wants to go and live in Italy because we're too fascist for him. I mean, good riddance, to be honest. I don't know I don't know why the hell we want Elton John living here, but that's for another day.
Because he's a rocket man.
Yeah, but he's just your typical remote Ramona piece of shit.
What rich?
That's
What rich? Rich and white.
honestly, I think that if Harry and Meghan become financially independent, then I don't have a problem.
The only problem is you can't be half in, half out.
Okay, you know what I would have done if I was the Queen? I'd said, great, you're no longer the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. They're gone. You're no longer having loads of money. That's gone.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
I
Because
mean,
they are the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. So
realistically,
technically, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex live in Canada.
to be honest though, if they are going to go independent, I think they should be stripped of the HRH titles.
Yeah, they never will be.
No, because they didn't give they denied their child to be a prince. Like he doesn't have a HRH title.
Although personally speaking, I think Prince Andrew should be stripped of everything he has.
Of course.
But that's never gonna happen.
See, the problem I have with the press, the press is going so hard on this, but what about the bigger story where potentially you have one of the royals who actually not just been a bit of a dick and decided to say screw you, I'm leaving, who's actually done potentially some really, really bad things. And I'm sure Prince Andrew's happy that Harry's announced this, because it's taken the spotlight away from him potentially having sex with underage girls and going to a paedophile's island, which was reportedly to have many underage girls and sex trafficking happen and going on there. But hey,
yeah, Prince. You are very right there. Attention should be drawn to Prince Andrew, especially as he has a higher title than Prince Harry does.
Yeah.
And he's just been allowed to basically live in solitude for the rest of his life with loads of money.
Pretty much.
He should be stripped of every single penny that he has, and then be put to trial.
Yeah.
Because he is guilty. You can tell he knows he is guilty, but he's using his royal title as a way to get out of that. And that's the one problem with the monarchy. The royal family will never get trialed for anything they do. They can get away with anything.
Yeah.
And that's the one. While there's a lot of good things the monarchy has, and I personally wouldn't get rid of it, it is corrupt. All of the hangers-on, all of the family which are never going to be the monarch, they just use it for their own advantage, and it is wrong. Matt, I agree. I think Prince Andrew should just be stripped of absolutely every single thing he had.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what was happened to Prince Andrew. He's the one who should be having all the media. Oh fuck, all the media attention. Well, I'm sure Prince Harry. What I've said about Prince Harry is why he's done what he's done. It's because he knows he could probably make a damn sight more money outside of. For example, Meghan Markle signing deals to do voiceovers with Disney. They can make millions in a month just by being outside the royal family. But I do agree they should be outside the royal family if they're going to do all that.
Someone had, this was ages ago. This was when Meghan Markle first came on the scene, and one of her friends said, because Meghan Markle poor track record when it comes to families, and one of her friends said she will destroy the royal family. And well, she might not have destroyed it, however she has damaged it, because, and that's got nothing to do with her colour, before anyone thinks that I'm being racist. She says she's not used to the spotlight. Now, any actor or actress is used to having the spotlight put on them. It comes with the job. Yeah. So she definitely is used to the spotlight being put on. And plus, she knew that the spotlight, if you marry a royal, you're going to be expected to do certain things. I don't understand why she thought that she wouldn't have to do anything. That's just not the case.
Yeah.
And as soon as that baby came along, there was a significant change in both of them. They started going hard on the British press. I mean, Prince Harry was suing newspapers at one point.
At the moment, Meghan Markle is suing one of the British newspapers. In the recent development to that story, you have found apparently Meghan Markle's father is prepared to testify in that case against Meghan.
There's something on with her father there. She doesn't get on well.
No, but apparently the sources in her lawsuit against one of the British newspapers, apparently her father is prepared to testify against her own daughter in the newspaper case. So
yeah. I don't. We won't hear a lot from Harry and Meghan anymore. They'll be in Canada, sponging off the Canadian taxpayer. I mean, Canadians will be fuming because, you know, there's quite a lot of Canadians that don't actually want the monarchy over them.
No.
And the difference is Canada, like Australia, is a Commonwealth nation. So while the Queen is technically head of state, it's very different to how the UK operates. You know, there's a Governor General, like a representative from the monarch.
Yeah.
So they got Harry and Meghan over, which they didn't even ask for. They didn't ask for Meghan and Harry to move over, and now they find their taxes have got to pay for them.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, if I was Canadian, I'd be going mental as well.
Oh well, it's all stories that we'll see how they develop, and hopefully they all can bugger off and shut up and get a job.
Hopefully. Anyway, you've got a segment you want to talk about, don't you?
We did, but we're gonna run out of time now. So we're gonna reserve this segment, which I've got.
Soon.
It's a good one. It'll be coming soon. Before I run the segment, I think I'm going to maybe do a bit more research and get a bunch of notes together and properly destroy the competition. And don't worry, I'm not talking about you, Gaio.
It's Geo, not Gaio.
Don't worry, I'm not talking about the GVO podcast or whenever that's turning up. We have no fucking
Super
clue.
Nautismo or something like that.
Yeah, we're not talking about that competition. We're talking about the competition.
I wouldn't call that competition.
Well, no, but I wouldn't exactly call the Labour. I wouldn't exactly call the Youth Labour Movement competition. But yeah, there we are.
Well, who knows? Maybe one day.
Coming next time, we will find out.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun.
So, without further ado,
you can't say that on this. It's not your channel to say that.
So,
no, I am not impressed. I'm folding my arms. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with that. Not one bit.
We're going to leave it there.
Me and him aren't very happy about that.
Yeah, before we explain who he is, Tommy's got is one of his many male partners strung up on the wall.
Leave Bruce alone.
Yes.
Bruce is a good guy.
Business part of it. Let me just clarify that. Right. Anyway, we're gonna get going now.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
is
off.
What you're supposed to say.
Yes. You're always here though.
Yeah. Well, one day I might not be here. I might be busy. Might be washing my hair.
Oh right. We're out. Okay then. So with that said, let's get out of here. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Without further ado, let's get into it.
See ya. Oh dear.